Feed me chicken. Today's gaming spotlight is on South Park Rally on the N64. So this episode is not for me to say that South Park Rally is a great kart game for the N64, because it's not. This episode is to try and change the mindset of how South Park Rally is perceived, and actually why I think it should be considered in the same sort of conversations you would Goldeneye. To begin with, I need to do a bit of Wikipedia on you guys. So, for the N64, Mario Kart 64 was released in 1996. Diddy Racing was released in 1997. This game was released in 2000. Now obviously it is characters in karts, so therefore South Park Rally is compared to Mario Kart and Diddy Racing. What's not considered though is that Mario Kart and Diddy Kong are colourful and generally aimed towards a younger audience. South Park the cartoon, however, contains adult content. It obviously comes on at a different time of night, usually between 9 and 10 onwards, and that is the show that this game is based around. So obviously the humour, the content, the drawings, they're all of a more adult demeanour. So for South Park Rally to be compared to the likes of Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing is slightly unfair. Now, when I was looking at reviews, just to refresh my memory on how badly this game was received, I looked at IGN and they give it a score of 4 out of 10. Now, I'm only concentrating on the N64 version, not the PlayStation version. Again, the score is fair for how the game plays and how obviously, the colours, as you can see, are quite bland, and what they give as a review is fair. I'm not disagreeing that the controls are not slippery, but I feel that this is deliberate, and as this video continues I will explain why. Now, for me to really try and change the mindset of anyone listening to this video, I encourage everyone, before they continue watching any further, for them to go onto YouTube to look at series 1, 2 and 3 of South Park, just because this will again help emphasize why I think this game should be less considered in the same bracket as Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing, but more in the bracket of Goldeneye. Now, what you need to go and do when you go and look at these series is look at the colours that are used, look at the way these characters move. Again, you need to look at and listen to the content, and then come back to this video once that's done, and I should hopefully, along with what you've just seen, be able to tell you guys why I think South Park Rally should be seen differently. Let's get straight into championship mode then, and hit the character select screen. Now, this is the part of the game that closely resembles this being a straightforward kart racer, because obviously in any kart race you get to select the character you're going to use to race with. Currently I'm showing you all the unlockable characters, which gives this game the replayability factor. And if you are a South Park fan, then I hope you notice that the unlockable characters are essentially the extras that are used within series 1 to 3. The characters that you can select straight off the bat are the ones that are considered probably the main characters, or are certainly the ones that are used more regularly. Now I've already taken you to the championship mode and to the character select screen, but it's important to have a look at the introduction to this game, because this gives a very strong indication that this game is not being made to be your normal kart racer. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that the series to South Park has a theme song. It has its introduction. But that introduction has not been cut and pasted for this game. In fact, what they've done is they have made sure that this shows the characters of South Park in karts, but driving along to the South Park theme song from the series. Now, that is extremely important in a point that I will make later on in the video.
I'm going down south, I'm gonna have myself a time.
Friendly faces everywhere, humble folks without temptation.
Going down south, I'm gonna leave my woes behind.
Ample parking day or night, people spouting party never.
Heading on up south, I'm gonna see if I can't unwind. So come on down south, Park and meet some friends of mine.
Following on from the game's introduction and selecting your character, you then get to enter the races. Now, the first race is your standard, go past all the checkpoints and finish first. But every race after that is essentially an objective race. You'll get an introduction before the race begins on what you need to do to successfully accomplish that race. And what's significant is that each race has a title and a date above them. Why is this significant? Well, in my opinion, this means that each race is essentially a new episode. And this is where South Park Rally starts to distinguish itself as a different game from every other kart racing game on the N64. Let's select Kenny and let's get on with the game. So if you remember correctly, at the beginning of this video, I asked you to go and look at any episode between series 1 to 3 on South Park and then come back to this video. Now, the reason for that is that although this game was made during series 3, they still would have had series 1 and 2 as a blueprint for what it is that they wanted to develop within this game. And straight off the bat, as you can see the tour around South Park's town, you can tell straight away from the use of the colour, the use of the shape, that they have encapsulated the South Park environment. And if you only knew of South Park, you would know straight away that this was a South Park game. Very distinguishable and very noticeable from the start. Now, I also asked you to keep an eye on how the characters move. Now, that's significant because I feel that the way the characters move in the cartoon series is replicated within the way the karts handle. Now, yes, when this game has its reviews, they do report that the karts are slippery. They don't handle very well. But I feel that's deliberate. I feel that they've deliberately translated how the characters move within, particularly within series 1 and 2, and they've transferred that to how the karts handle to give this an authentic feel as a South Park game. They've also been very clever with how they use their power-ups. So if you can see on the screen right now, I've currently picked up a Philip doll. Now, Terrence and Philip within the series are characters who use flatulence as jokes, but obviously if you're farting out your ass, a bit of wind gives you a bit of a speed boost. It makes sense. And there are other power-ups within this game, again, that make sense, that are used within the South Park cartoon series. So you've got a prostitute. If you hit with a prostitute, loads of vaginas hit your screen and you slow down. If you get hit with a small dog, it bites your tyre and you can't go anywhere. As you see as my second power up there, the alien eye, a reference to when Cartman had a alien probe in his arse. You know, if you get hit by that, you will stop completely and your character or whoever you hit will be singing a song, which is actually a fantastic song and is one of the best bits of the game. Now, in the research I did for my argument for this game to not be considered as a kart racer alongside Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing, it really should be considered in the same bracket as Goldeneye. I found out that the makers of South Park were not actually that heavily involved with the game. Although the voices are authentic and they lent their voices to this game, they weren't as heavily involved in this game as they are in the later games on the PS3 or the Xbox 360. However, it doesn't stop this being a game that still trolls you. Now, what I mean by that is, in most of the South Park games, certainly for the PS3 and the Xbox 360 era, there are aspects of the game where the makers of South Park troll you. Now, if you're not familiar with South Park built themselves up on controversy. They would take real life events and put a spin on it where they literally just took the piss out of it. And that created controversy, that created anger. And that also translates into this game. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the map. Now the map, which is in the bottom corner of your screen, is an absolute arse. I hate the map within this game. It doesn't translate well. It is a complete and utter bastard. But I feel it's done deliberately again. I feel as if they've done that to troll you, the user, and it adds a different level of difficulty. It makes you come back. It makes you want to memorize the map so that you don't have to use that map. Now, other aspects of South Park, which I think they translate well into the game, is the frustration level, the anger level. So they know, or at least I feel like they know, that the series itself created its controversy. It created the anger. It created what it wanted to do to get people to watch the product. And the way they've done that here is obviously, again, the handling. But handling makes, not only does it make it frustrating to play, but it adds a level of difficulty. So if you keep playing it, you're going to get used to how the kart handles. If you're able to get used to how the kart handle, then you're going to be able to play the game better. So it gives you the want to play it, to then master it, to get good at it. And there are other frustration factors in this. I mean, I'll show it later on. There's a level where you've got to collect chickens. Now, not only are the chickens hard to fucking find, but obviously if you can't read the map on the screen as I can't properly, trying to find out where you've got to drop the bloody chickens off of is fucking hard work. But again, it's a game that, because it gives you that challenge, you want to come back and prove that, you know, you can do it. You can achieve it. You can get on to the next part of the championship. And although I didn't go into the options and show you, whether you can change the difficulty, I feel like the difficulty kind of sets itself, because this game is fucking hard. And some people will translate that it's being hard because it's an unfair game. Yes, you could make that argument, but then you can make the argument that, you just aren't going to put the effort in to try and make sure that you are good at the game. As you can see now, I've already lost just the second game, and that's because mainly because I got lost and I couldn't fucking find out where I needed to go. But this game is challenging. So you're probably sitting there now and you're going, all right, so you've waffled on about the game and why it is that what you need to do in the game, etc., etc. But you haven't really explained why you think or why it should be considered in the same bracket as Goldeneye. I mean, Goldeneye is an immense game. You know, for the time you knew who everyone was, it was a game that you enjoyed playing. And essentially what I've said is that you're not going to enjoy playing this game at all. So why would I have the audacity, really, to compare it to Goldeneye? Well, what I hope you've been listening to is the fact that they have based this game on series 1 to 3 of South Park, the cartoon series. But they haven't just translated it. I feel like they've tried to make this rally game into an actual kart translation of the cartoon series. So let me just re-back it all up. They have remade their introduction to this game. So you've got the music from the series itself, but it's put over a new introduction into this game. You don't just make the effort. Most games that are based off of like popular cartoon series, they will just cut and paste the introduction from the cartoon onto the game, so you just know what it is. But they didn't do that. They took the extra effort to remake it. Next, you've got the races themselves. Each race is, apart from the first one, is an objective. You've got to do something and then complete that objective to go on to the next race, to the next day. Now each race above their title, so again there's a title to each of these, they have a date. And that's significant, like I said before, because I feel like they're trying to make each race a new episode of South Park. And now you take the handling. Again, like I've said already, the handling is a translation of the way the actual characters move, particularly within South Park's episodes 1 and 2. Sorry, series 1 and 2. Because they don't move like a normal character would move. They slide around. They don't move their legs, they kind of slide around. And that's exactly how these karts handle. They slide. Each power-up is a reference to something that's been within the series already. There's nothing that I've seen so far that says they've taken something from somewhere else and just plucked it out of nowhere and put it in the game. Everything is relevant and relates back to an episode within those series. You know exactly who everyone is. You know that this is a South Park build. You know this the South Park buildings. You know this is everything's distinguishable. And I feel they've done a fantastic job, an absolutely brilliant job of translating a cartoon into a kart racing game, and then not making that just a kart racing game. And that's why I feel that this game should not be just classed as a kart racer, because it's not cutesy. It's got profanity. It's made to be different from Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing because it is based off of the cartoon series. That's why the colours are so dull. That's why there's the profanity. That's why the power-ups are what they are, because they have done a very good job of translating that cartoon series into a video game. Now, in my last video, I put the question to, obviously myself, would this game be a good game to have as a remaster or a remake or a reboot? And the answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely, this game should be remastered, I think it would be. It doesn't need to be redone. Now, I need to be very careful how I say this, because essentially the actual blueprints for this game should absolutely remain there. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I don't think that they should be changing the races, for example. I love the fact that these aren't just your standard race against 6, 7, 8 other people and have to come first. I actually like the fact that there's a difference, that you have to complete some form of objective before you can move on to the next race. I like the fact that they've tried to make it as an episode based game. Now, keeping that means that you keep the difficulty. Now, this game is challenging as fuck, but it's a game that you should be looking at to come back for more. You know, you should be like, right, this game's kicked me in the arse, but I want to come back and make sure and prove that I can do this. There's a certain bit in you that wants to go, I am good enough to complete this game. There is that in it. It's not just hard for hard's sake. Now, what does need to improve? Okay, so the graphics in this game. Now, the graphics reflected Series 1 to 3. So, obviously, he just took it. But if you look at the South Park series now, it has evolved. There is more colour. The characters move more fluidly. There are more characters within South Park now. So can you imagine if you took the graphics or how South Park looks now and you basically unclothed the series as it is now and you put it on top of this game so that the carts then move again, they move like the characters do now, because obviously the characters do move like they're actually real characters, they're real people. They move their feet, they actually walk properly. Put that into this game that then deals with the handling. Change that fucking map so it can be used. I just think, personally for me, that's a troll too far. I still feel it's a troll. I don't feel it's deliberately put there to be an arse, as you know, it's just they haven't programmed it properly. I just feel like that's part of the charm of the game. They've made it so that you're frustrated at it, like you would have been frustrated at the controversy that the cartoon itself caused right at the start. But absolutely, you know, but they should definitely they've got to keep the challenge to the game in terms of its objectives, because that makes it different. That makes it stand out from the rest of your generic kart races. But again, like I said, if you just make it and you make it feel like the cartoon is now, I think you've got a winner on your hands. Because in this day and age, you've got, again, all you've got is, you know, you race from A to B, you've got to come first. Whereas this just adds a little bit more, and then that little bit more becomes a little bit more. And if you could keep that element of it in a remake or remaster, should I say? Sorry, not remake, remaster of this game. I feel you've got something that challenges what we've got now. I mean, what kart games have we got out now in 2021? You got obviously your standard Mario Kart. You've got your remake of Crash Tag Racing or Crash Team Racing, but there's not much out there that says, "Come and give me a challenge." South Park, something different. It's a challenge from start to finish, and that's why I feel this needed to be done differently. I mean, need to be seen differently. So that's it. Why I think that this game should really be considered in the same vein as Goldeneye, because this is a true translation of a series to a game, and I feel it's done successfully. Just like Goldeneye was a good translation of the film made into a video game. I feel that they fall into that category, and that this shouldn't just be looked at as a kart racer. And that's my point. And then obviously I just said it needs a remaster, because I think it would just be absolutely fucking brilliant and a fucking challenge. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to stop talking. I'm going to tag the chicken one on the end of it just to show you how horribly horrible it was, because it was an arse. And yeah, I would really like to know what you guys think. Yeah, let me know whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, and why why you think that. You know, again, I'm not saying this is a game you should go out and buy, but I just think it just needs to be seen differently. That's all. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. And I'm going to stop talking and stop making your ears bleed. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you next time. I know I said I would stop talking, but I don't actually have the audio from this part of the game, so you might just have to just deal with my voice. Otherwise you're kind of just watching nothing with nothing in the background. So sorry about that. But as you can see, the map in the bottom right hand corner is fucking useless. Absolutely useless. The white dots are the ones that represent the chickens, but could I fucking find them? No, I couldn't. And where it's got 1 in the bottom right is where you're meant to drop the chickens off, if you can find them. So you're able to carry 4 chickens at once, and then you drop them off. And I'm sure everyone's laughing at me and going, well, you dress up in a chicken mask and yet you couldn't complete a chicken level. It should be made for you. Mate, you try and do it in one go. I got frustrated. Really frustrated. But again, that's what this game was about. It was about doing you nothing, making you frustrated. And that really, it lived up to what it did when it was as a cartoon series. Again, I think it just did it really well. But yeah, here we go. Look, I only get my second chicken, and as you can see, Policeman Cartman has already got 4 and he's on to his second round. Oh, fucking sucked at this. I even couldn't get out flipping extra credit without struggling. So, but yeah, just let you watch it out, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought of this video. Also, let me know how you found me. Below is a link to my Facebook page. It is the only bit of social media I do between YouTube and you guys. This is where you will see photos of the items I have for sale or for trade. I do not do Twitter, and I do not do Instagram. Take care.